The brands are not giving us anything right now, so I'm sitting for critical sass. I have a huge blister on my toe. Also, my back got thrown out because I held the child and we jumped together, which is a thing we've done, but my back said. So yeah, that's why we're sitting today. First up, by Skin, we have a couple releases. Highlighters, a hybrid gel powder highlighter that effortlessly sculpts, shapes, and defines features with luminous pearlescent pigment. With the smooth application of a liquid and the feather-light feel of a powder, this creamy formula effortlessly melts into the skin for a dewy, radiant finish. And then some nude lip glosses. We're seeing a lot of highlighter, which is interesting. And it actually, a couple of months ago, I feel like I was really saying a lot that I was like, I don't want highlighters this year. But I will say the highlighters that I feel like we're seeing released this year are like honed in into something that I like. Like, it seems like they're all really like super natural looking, not supernatural looking, but super natural, very natural looking. That's how they're feeling to me. I gotta say I'm kind of into it because the highlighter I have on today is the new one from Surratt in Lame. And I would say that this highlighter is really soft and natural looking, and that's kind of what these Kim Kardashian highlighters are giving me. So I have to say, like, I have to give her the props because it's like I've never been interested in a Kim Kardashian product in a very real way. I don't hate this. The lip glosses are whatever. Whatever. But like, I also just feel like last month I forced myself to buy some makeup, and like, I was forcing myself to buy some makeup to review, which I'm still working on the reviews, by the way. But like, I had to like force myself because the releases have been so bad. And like, I literally was this weekend thinking about Critical Sass, and I was like, I can't even think of something that released recently that I want to talk about, like that I want to complain about. My complaint is nothing. Like, I have no complaints because there's simply barely anything to talk about. Not even because there's less releases. What seems like to me is just like no one's trying right now. You're not gonna like what I have to say right now, so prepare yourself. But we have to start getting ready for holiday. Holiday stuff starts releasing at the end of August, and we're partway through June, which means there's only a month in between. So we're about to move right out of summer collections right into fall winter collections, and that feels gross. But I do feel like we got a lot of blush releases, but like I feel like a lot of stuff released in spring, and I feel like we're in this lull before holiday talks start getting announced, which is sure, whatever. There's been a lack of Pride releases this year, and I think let's talk about why I think that is. If you weren't aware, there have been many hundreds of bills against the LGBTQI, specifically targeting trans people, that have been going on across the United States. Love that. My thought is these brands are not releasing Pride stuff because they're afraid of the very, very vocal minority, and it is a minority. There have been polls done where people are like, basically just like leave trans people alone, even if they're not someone who would be like someone we would consider like even an ally. It's just like, let the trans people be trans. And I think because we're not as popular in the broader culture, and when I say that, I don't mean that like in a real way. Like, I think most people are totally fine with my existence. It's like those people who are really loud. It's just the loud people. The loud people are the ones that the brands are going to listen to, and the loud people have essentially won. And the brands this year are not really doing anything Pride related, and the Pride releases that have been released have really fumbled the bag. Most of them have been direct to consumer email marketing. So I can give you two examples of this, but I would guess that there are other brands. So Sigma sent me an email that they were releasing a Pride brush collection, and I did read the details of the Pride brush collection, and guess what? No money going to the LGBTQIA. It's not going to any kind of like nonprofit or organization for LGBTQI. It's something that's rainbow and chromatic. So sure. And then we have Natasha Denona, who released a gift with purchase bag. It's frustrating because I would just rather a brand not show your whole ass or be committed to us all year round. I said this in my last video when I was talking about Danessa Myricks, who shamefully agreed to donate the money to the ACLU after a lot of harassment from people being like, what is the money doing? Where is the money going? And not only that, they pulled a stunt recently, which is like a behind the scenes thing where they wanted to send the new Pride palette to LGBTQIA people, but it was product for a post. They weren't even going to pay the people. Getting product is fun, but getting product is not worth it if the product is in, like, you have to make content with it. That's the payment. I would rather support LGBTQIA artists, people who are doing things that are more interesting than for us in the makeup brands to pretend to have this thing where, like, they care about specific people during June when they specifically pretend to care about Asian people during AAPI Heritage Month. Like today, as I'm filming, is Juneteenth, so I'm sure there are some posts going around being like, it's Juneteenth, blah, 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 you know? And like, they just don't care about us. They just don't care about us. It's something that I feel like I had to like get through to everyone every time I do this. Like, the brands are not our friends. The brands are not our allies. That's not to say there aren't people working for these brands, involved with these brands, who are not allies or LGBTQIA plus themselves, or, you know, what part of whatever marginalized group that you might be a part of. It's not to say that those people don't exist in those brands. The brand itself is not our friend. Like, they make products for us to buy. That is it. There is something to be said, and I can't make the video about this because I'm not that I'm stupid, I just don't want to. But there is something to be said about how social media has made us feel like brands are people and that we can have relationships to a brand. I have relationships to people at Surat. I have relationships with people at Sigma. Like, you know, that's a relationship. It's very transactional with some of those people. Some people I'm more friendly with. Some people it's just like, hey, we're sending you something, and it's like nothing. But I do not have a relationship with the brand. When I'm affiliated with the brand, that just means that the brand pays me when you use my affiliate link or my affiliate code. But that brand is not my friend. That brand is not going to show up at the hospital if something catastrophic happens to me. They might send flowers at my funeral if I should pass away. But they are not my friend. We do not have a relationship. It's simply transactional. As consumers, as influencers, we're not friends. We're not friends. I think we just need to stop pretending that. We can like brands for sure, right? Brands might make some of our favorite things. I like some brands more than I like other brands, but they're not my friend. I mean, they're really showing their whole ass this year that they're not going to show up for us because they are afraid that people are going to yell at them because they're supporting the LGBTQA. They're going to be a woke brand. Me and Charlotte Tilbury, me and Char Tills, we have a lot of what she makes I have gotten on with in recent times. Am I wearing her lip gloss right now? I am. I am wearing Plumpgasm. However, I got tagged in this and sent this multiple times. So the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Lip and Cheek Glow. This is like a reformulation, re-release of something because it's like a lip and cheek product. And I feel like there only used to be 2 colors. Boy, howdy, did everyone think I'd like the brown one. So here's something I've learned. I love a brown cosmetic. I really do. When it comes to the brand Charlotte Tilbury, they lean on warmth. I'm not for a second gonna believe that this brown is just like a neutral brown. It's gonna be like brown with orange or red in it, like a lot of orange or red in it, where it's just gonna look really warm. And I do feel as though brands, especially like major brands, really shy away from making like neutral brown blushes or cool tone brown blushes, because I think at that point they would consider that a bronzer and not really like a blush. So I just don't believe not for 1 second that this brown was going to be a brown for me. And I understand it's a reformulation. I've only heard bad things about the original formula of this. Perhaps we've stepped things up. Maybe this is something better. I'm not a hybrid product person. I love that people are into hybrid products, but I don't normally think to put my blush on my lip and vice versa. I wear a lot of cream products. So like in theory, I could do that even if it's like not specifically designed for that. I just don't think like that. My brain doesn't work like that. It's different products for different things. And that's okay. And that's okay. I don't need to try that. But I love that these products exist for those of you who are very interested in that. But something I will say, a little bit of a YouTuber complaint. Sometimes I say something and y'all are like, you gotta try that. It's like, well, that's just not the way my brain works. And yeah, like sometimes it's worth trying things, but like, I'm not gonna carry around my blush stick around if I'm wearing that as my lip color to reapply to my lips. That's just not what I'm gonna do. But some of you would really like, and you would carry around this little pot around, and that's just not who I am. This is me. Most of the time, my lip product wears off and I don't even know. And I just roll on with my night. I just don't care. Charlotte Tilbury released the Skin Sheer Glow Tint Hydrating Foundation Stick. The ultimate no foundation blurring, smoothing, sheer delight, buildable coverage, and a sculpting effect. It's formulated to melt seamlessly into your skin in 15 seconds and is infused with plant-powered collageneer to keep your skin feeling firm, plump, and hydrated. Whatever collageneer is, it sounds like it's a collagen substitute. And if you don't know this already, like collagen on top of the skin definitely has like hydrating effects, but it's not like help your body produce more collagen. It's definitely just more like for your skin to help with dryness. If your skin is more hydrated, it's gonna look plumper. Like that's, for sure. Like your skin's gonna look better if it's hydrated. So in theory, that makes sense. But also in case you didn't know, this collagen is not like something where you can just like put it on your face or ingest it to help your body produce more collagen. I'm sure the shade range of this is terrible because Charlotte's shade ranges are typically terrible. I have tried no, that's a lie. I've tried 3 complexion products and I didn't really love any of them. Charlotte's complexion products always run yellow. I would have to get something with a cool undertone to even have a prayer to hope that it might work for me. Now it says it's sheer and blurring, so it sounds like a product I would enjoy. Here's where I'm at, I guess, when I'm thinking about foundations for me. I have 5 foundations that I really enjoy. I don't know. I don't want to like review a bunch of Charlotte. I don't want to find myself being like a Charlotte Tilbury resource. Like, I don't want that for me. Well, I do, based on all of those adjectives, those sound like things that I look for in a complexion product. But we're already too late in the game for me to review it and that be like something that I could buy for my channel to be healthy for it. So then I would have to have a lot of interest for myself if that was going to be something that I would buy. So I'm left in this place where it's just like, I would like to try that, but I'm not going to go out of my way to try it now because I have 5 foundations that I really like, whether they're skin tints or whatever. I really like them. And I have the glossy skin tint and it sounds like it does like what that does. And I'm like, good. I'm good on that. Also, based on that description of it, I just feel like a lot of people aren't going to like that. In fact, Beth of A Little Nightmake posted a video today. I haven't watched it, but based on the thumbnail, it looks like she's not impressed. I do feel like our preferences are a little bit different when it comes to complexion, so it might still work for me. I'll just watch it when I'm in a store, see what the vibe is, like what the texture is, but I actually feel like I also, when it comes to stick complexion products like foundations, I normally don't love that as an application method. I love that, and I understand that it's like we're in summertime, so of course brands aren't releasing full coverage things, but I feel like this is a summer of sheer. Like there's been a lot of complexion products described as sheer this summer, and oh baby, bring it out to me, bring it on, bring it on. The Justin Timberlake news, by the way, that just happened. Your world tour, sure buddy. Your world tour. What world tour? Justice for Janet. And for Brittany, but really Janet. Here's like a Pride collection that we can talk about. I'm going to talk about it differently. So MAC released the 40 Shades of Pride eyeshadow vault, and it's a rainbow palette. I don't like rainbow palettes. So this is not for me, and it's also $150. I've never tried... Well, I've tried MAC shadows, but like I feel like it's been a non-event for me. I tried MAC shadows a lot whenever I was first getting into makeup, but I like don't remember them. And obviously I've gotten a lot better at makeup since when I first got into makeup. So it's just like I don't really know how I feel about MAC eyeshadows. To me, that's a big palette. And while I have recently enjoyed a big eyeshadow palette, a rainbow palette, I don't know that that's going to be for me. Especially, this would be something that I would want to have removable pans so I can like move them around, put them in other palettes. That would be how this would be of any value to me. I like the puffy packaging. I'm always weary of puffy packaging because it just feels like it's going to get dirty really quickly, even if it is like a leather or faux leather finish. Here's why I don't have a problem with MAC doing a Pride collection. 100% of this palette will go to MAC Viva Glam. MAC Viva Glam is, I think, going on 30 years of supporting LGBTQIA people. And that is why I'm not really super mad about this, because this is MAC's ongoing work with so in supporting the LGBTQIA community. And I think they do a Viva Glam once a year, if not multiple times a year, where the same thing happens. 100% of the proceeds go to supporting LGBTQIA organizations and helping people. So that's fine, because this is just part of their whole thing. They've been doing this since before it's been popular to support queer people. They've been doing this a lot longer than within the last 5 to 10 years when it's been popular to support people during Pride Month. They've been consistent, and I think that's great. Through Skeepers, I'm getting the strobe cream, which I'm excited about. I asked for it. I was like, I would like to try that again, because I had a mini one and I finished it up. Like, I had a sample of it. Let's go on. Rhode. Rhode is releasing their blushes. Finally, I feel like this has been sneak peeked for a while. So a little blush for a little flush. On the go cream blush wakes up the cheeks and lips with a satiny diffused flush that melts on smoothly and stays all day. It's a lightweight formula that hydrates skin for baby soft cheeks and leaves a glowy finish without a greasy feel. $24. Fragrance free. It comes in 6 shades. It's here. Are you happy? Is everyone good? How do I feel? Here it is. Guess what? 6 of the most basic blush shades. And I wasn't really expecting anything different from Hailey Bieber. You know, like, that's not what I'm not expecting, like, you know, shades to really push the limit here. So that's nothing to me. The packaging is consistent with Rhode's packaging. It is an odd color of brown. I don't know if that's because, like, the skincare comes in like gray packaging, so maybe their makeup's gonna come in this brown packaging. I can't tell if it feels dated. The color, that's the color of a lot of like living rooms I was in as a child in the 90s. Like, a lot of living rooms were like that color. A lot of that color existed. And so while I understand that like cycles trend, it is just kind of a gross color for the packaging of it. And the weird small bit of product in the center of what is seemingly a much larger packaging is ugly. It's very much giving Westman Atelier stick products, because it's like kind of the same thing. Specifically the lipstick, which it's like all this big packaging around like a, you know what I mean? Like, it's very much giving that energy. My guess is that this product is probably going to be good. The Rhode stuff, I haven't hated any of the Rhode things. I've loved some of the Rhode things, and then other of the Rhode things I've been like just whatever about. And I guess like ultimately, I bet if I tried one of these, I'd feel whatever about it, because when it comes to blush, if the formula is good, that's great. But if the color isn't good, or if I'm like not inspired by the color, then it's not good. Very few blushes have actually like caught my eye this year, which is great. I've been doing this for a couple of years now, like I think 3 years on YouTube, and talking about products like this, I feel like I'm really starting to build, the armor is really starting to become much, much more bulletproof when it comes to like new color, new, you know, whenever the cycle happens where it's like blush season. It's like I've not felt compelled to most blush releases. So I feel great about that. Good luck. I don't know that I bet this will get repackaged at some point if it's good. But like, I don't like the color of the packaging. That's the part where I'm like, Okay, I got tagged in this a lot. And it's from Lisa Eldridge. Okay. As a person on the internet who reviews makeup, I find it so interesting, the relationship between my audience and their relationships to brands. The vibe is that you really want me to be a Lisa Eldridge stan. Like, you really want me to like get all of that makeup. And granted, I have the skin tint. It is probably my favorite product that was released so far this year. It is one of very few Lisa Eldridge products that I have tried. These got released and people were like, Lisa Eldridge is out here. And I was like, okay. Okay, so she released the Balm Embrace Melting Lip Color. Came in 5 shades, and I think people were really thinking that I would vibe with Metropolis or Sweet Fig. Metropolis would probably be the way I would go if I would go into something like this. And I guess I've been into like balmy things recently. Most of it I've been like more into like lip oils or glosses, but I do really love the Candy Glaze from YSL. So I think that maybe people were like, Lisa Eldridge can get you off the YSL train. onto the Lisa Eldridge train, which is great. Except Metropolis looks really, really similar to shade 14 in the Candy Glaze, which the color I cannot think. Scenic Brown. It looks a lot like Scenic Brown. And again, I have Scenic Brown. Sorry, this is like less about the makeup. It's like, I still am a consumer of beauty, and I do more so think about buying makeup as a consumer than in relation to the channel. And that is mostly because the channel does not make me enough money to like be buying a bunch of stuff to fund it back into it at this point, which is fine. I'm not complaining about that. But I think maybe that is like the vibe that I might be giving off. I also don't love comparing formulas. Like doing comparisons, like if I were to buy a bunch of glossy lip products, doing that kind of video, I think could potentially be helpful to you. But then to me, I just have a bunch of glossy lip products that are probably all vaguely the same color because that would be the color I'd be interested in. And also buying a lot of the same color would be helpful to you. So visually you'd be able to see what I was talking about if like the colors are as close as possible. Anyway, all that being said, cute release. Happy for Lisa. Happy for the people who are fans of Lisa getting that product. It's not to say that I would never buy it. It's just a lip product to me, to get me excited, it has to have like something to it. And this just feels like a lot of what we've already seen from makeup brands this year, where it's just like, it's a fancy lip balm, which is fine. Great. Love that. There's not a shade in here that feels different than other shades of things like this. Honestly, something has to ring as special to me for me to be really excited about it, to buy it for a reason other than my channel at this point. Like, for me to buy it out of like the love of makeup, it's gotta feel really special. And like, unfortunately, like this just isn't gonna be that for me. I mean, I want to talk about this. This is from Estee Lauder. They released a Bronze Goddess Shimmering Gelée Body Highlighter. I think they only released it in one shade, which is kind of funny. It's sheer though, it's just body sparkle. I have so many body sparkles because I always think that's who I am. And then I don't leave the house. And you know, body sparkle in the house is pretty ineffective. And when I go out, because I have been going out clubbing more, I have been wearing just like glitter on my body, not so much like cosmetic tanning drops. And the glitter particles in those like tanning, like the body highlighters is not strong enough that when the light hits you that it's really reflective. So it's like kind of a moot point for me. I have a shimmering body oil from Tom Ford that I bought in 2016 that I think I am just now halfway through. I think my problem with body oils is actually this. Shimmering body oils always have a coconut scent to them, which I love coconut scents. That's not, the problem is that it's scented. I would like for that product to not smell like anything so I could choose what I smell like. But if I wear that, that's what I have to smell like. I can't put other things, like, you know, I can't mask the smell of oil being over my entire body. I can't mask that. Can't cover that up. It doesn't say that it's scented. Oh, it says it's unscented. Okay. I'm not gonna run out and buy this because, again, I have a bunch of body oils. I have body oil. Woo! The yins, the body oils. I have one that In Beauty Project gave me in PR. I actually really like it. It's great. It doesn't get stuff everywhere, but guess what? I rarely wear it because when I'm not going outside I'm not going to the sun, going outside to like be in the sun on purpose. Phlur releases a lot of fragrances. Phlur's out here releasing some fragrances. New to the fragrance world, go watch my fragrance video if you didn't watch it already. That's very disrespectful if you haven't. A lot of people who aren't even into fragrances have enjoyed those videos. Seek treatment, seek that video. I'm seeing again, I'm new to the fragrance world, but fragrance does seem to be on the rise. Like, I feel it's on its way to being what skincare was a couple of years ago and what makeup was like now almost a decade ago, where it's this bubble that's building and people are really excited about fragrance. And there's, I hate, and I'm not, like, Phlur is like one example of this, but it does feel as though that there's like this big turnover on fragrances, and there's like a lot of fragrances coming out of fragrance house, like one specific fragrance house, right? Like, I feel like Phlur's released 4 or 5 fragrances this year. And not to say that it can't be done, but in my head, formulating a fragrance is really hard. And to make something really special, I would say like I would expect a fragrance house to release like one, maybe two fragrances a year. And again, I'm still new to this. I don't know what the natural occurrences of fragrance releases is, but it just seems like we're getting a lot of them. And because it's becoming so popular, a lot of brands are releasing fragrances. Anyway, I think they even released another fragrance since this one. This is the Soft Spot, and it seems like a skin scent. It's being described as a magnetic allure of intimacy, intoxicating pleasure. Soft Spot is a sultry skin-on-skin fragrance that captures the essence of your desire with charming caress. So I'm imagining something like Glossier You. Juliet has a Guns, Not a Perfume. Debaser, I guess. Diaz and Durga. So like it's kind of giving that energy. So those aren't my favorite kind of fragrances because they're not really potent. And I've tried some Phlur fragrances. I've sniffed them and they're not for me. They seem a little basic. I think that about almost any fragrance that one can buy at Sephora, if I'm being honest with you. Isamaya released a face tool as if we don't have enough of those. I don't know what's going on with that brand. I feel like we haven't seen a makeup release in a while other than like a shade range extension of the penis lipsticks. I don't know what's going on there. Don't know. Couldn't tell you. Patrick Ta is also part of the highlighter gang. New highlighters. And just like every other Patrick Ta product that comes in this exact same compact, no. It's not even that I don't think it's going to be pretty, but like, it's a duo product. Problem number one. You're not going to use those products at the same rate. I hate that. You're probably going to like one of the formulas more than others. You'll probably like the balm more than the powder or vice versa. That's probably how it will go. And then you'll just use that one and then you'll force yourself to use the other one or you'll just throw it away when you're done with the one that you like. I don't think Patrick Ta's makeup is good. And I say that having not even tried that much of it. I think Patrick Ta is a talented makeup artist. I think Patrick Ta, much like Danessa Myricks, makes makeup that is like how he would do makeup. Which I think for the general consumer is not how we do our makeup. I think people think they like those blush duos and think they like them because they were told to use it a certain way and they're like, oh, isn't it innovative to use my powder before my cream? And it's like, no, you could have done that with any thing if you wanted to do it that way. It's like to use his products is to use his techniques. It's not to like inspire creativity. It's like his products seem to only work one very singular way. And it's like, most people aren't going to do all that. I just watched Lauren talk about these, by the way, and she did not have a great time with them. I mean, to be fair, it seemed like a face of makeup that she was generally displeased with. And as someone who occasionally tries a full face of something that like, I don't like any of the things and I don't like the final result, that's just frustrating. And like, it takes time. It takes time. It was a first impression, but like, and I think they're $40. No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't think Patrick Ta is worth $40. I think his prices are too high, to be honest. Rituel de Fille. So this is an updated formula of something that they released before. So it's the Creature of Light, which if you go back on my channel, I don't even know when I had it. I had the blue one of this a while ago, but it was a different formula back then. And I gave it to my friend Andromeda because they love this stuff. And we weren't sure when it was going to launch, but it's finally here. It's a little bit updated. I've heard that it's like a little more hydrating. And it's a Shimmagoo. I love a Shimmagoo. The hydrating thing, it does intrigue me to try it again. And you get a lot of product. I think they're in 1.7 ounce bottles. They're $43 each. That's probably the thing of the things I'm talking about today. It's the thing that I might buy. However, in true Tom fashion, I immediately think of Oracle Lust, which is my favorite Shimmagoo. And I've also previously tried that Shimmagoo in a different iteration. And I liked it, but I passed on it because I just wasn't using it. And honestly, I don't use the Oracle Lust so often where I'm not even close to being done with this. And I've had it now for a couple of years. I think we're getting close to the 2-year mark in September. Shimmagoo just, and of course it's a highlighting product. You don't really run through highlighter product that fast. I would use it as a primer. And right now I'm trying to use up this Bobbi Brown vitamin enriched face base, and I've actually like hit pan on it, which is exciting. But I still have a ways to go. There's a lot of product in here. This was like the big jumbo size, the 3.4 fluid ounces. And I want to get back to my Victoria Beckham one. Like I want to just get back to the regular Victoria Beckham one. Not the golden one, which I do have, but I want the original one. I want to go back. Buying this would distract from that goal of mine. And I could see myself having it down the line though. Buying one of these. Boy Smells released Citrush, which is a poppers inspired fragrance, which I think is funny. If you're gonna profit off us, make it funny. This is funny. Actually, this is a really good example of how to do a Pride release that isn't fucking rainbow. That isn't just like, gay people are only rainbow. It's like poppers. It smells like poppers. I think that's funny. And I think it's unique. It's like a unique take on it. And I'm sure a lot of people would roll their eyes and be like, not all gay people. It's okay. It's okay. It's allowed to not be for you. There can be Pride releases that aren't for every gay person. And I think, trying to decide that everyone is a rainbow and we only want rainbow releases during Pride for Pride. No. Poppers. Get into it. Charli XCX is just on the mind a lot recently because Rat came out and I'm obsessed with the album. Charli XCX holding up poppers saying gay rights gives me the same energy as Boy Smells releasing this candle. And I love that. I just think that's great. I think that's great. I don't think it's a candle that I would even enjoy the smell of. I've never done poppers. Not that you need to know whether or not I'm doing poppers, that's none of your business. But it's a citrus scent and I don't love a citrus fragrance. I feel compelled to buy it because I love it. I love it. I love it. I love this. I love the idea of it. Just like that young person, that young police officer going up to Justin Timberlake going, I don't know who you are. I'm here for the citrush. I feel the rush. Addicted to your touch. Is that the end? That's like all I have saved. There's some new stuff from Bella Beauté Bar that's getting sneak peeked. I don't know if I'll get an NPR, but that'll be exciting if I were to because it looks exciting. It looks like something that could push me out of the comfort zone. I have another blister on another toe. Cute. Just covered in blisters. Anyway, that wraps up the video. Sorry that this critical sass was lower energy, sitting, not doing my usual thing. But if you are new to my channel, this is a lot of what I like to do. I like to be critical of new makeup releases and brands, and I just try to navigate the space of consumption with just thoughtfully as I can. I want to help you and help myself build the habit of just being more discerning about what we're purchasing. None of us are going to be able to be doing it perfectly, which is great, but I talk about fragrance here, I talk about clothing here, but I mostly focus on beauty, which is what we talked about in this video. So if that sounds cool to you, I'd love to have you subscribe. Make sure you like this video. Go ahead and share it with who you might think will find me delightful, which is everyone. So share it with everyone you know. I'm on patreon.com and I have channel memberships. You can find that all linked down below. I do some additional content over there, and that just supports my channel, allows me to buy things to review occasionally, and just generally supports what I do here. No pressure to do that. You're welcome to not. It's whatever you want to do. It's up to you, babes. And that's it. Remember to follow your hote and you'll find me. Go forth. Tits out.